man, quadratic formula. I would love for you to be able to solve quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. It would be so great if you could even classify roots using the discriminant. Now, you guys have used the quadratic formula in Algebra 1 way back in the day. Here it is. I don't need to focus too much on this because it's on here. If you want to write it down, you can pause here. But you have opposite of b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac. All of that is over 2a. You get the a, b, and c from whatever's in front of the x squared, whatever's in front of the x, and whatever number doesn't have a variable. It always has to equal 0. So if it didn't, then you can move equations around, Now the discriminant is this stuff in the square root. So the discriminant is a way that you can tell how many solutions there are. So if the square root comes out to a positive number, then there's 2 real solutions. If the square root comes out to 0, there's only going to be 1 real solution, right? Because the square root of 0 is 0, so it's not going to change anything. And if the square root comes out negative, we used to say no solution back in the day, but now we would say there's 2 complex, right? The imaginary number system, 2 complex solutions, but no real solutions. So we're going to try some examples that kind of mix and match everything in here. This first one, 4x squared plus 6x minus 40. Again, this is a good thing to know because you can't always factor everything. I'm so vain, I just want a video of me as large as I can get it. So, in this case, A is going to be 4. B is that 6. And C would be negative 40. Now again, you have to have it equal to 0. So if it doesn't, then add or subtract whatever's there to get it to the other side. So we can kind of put in x equals the opposite of, and we'll just kind of fill in the blanks here. Now that 4 is always there. It's built into the formula. Same thing with the 2 in the denominator. Those are always there. So it's the opposite of b, and b is 6, plus or minus the square root of b squared, 6 squared, minus 4a, which is 4. There's a c there, and then there's an a in the denominator. So c is negative 40. And then we're just simplifying with our order of operations. So we have the opposite of 6. That's negative 6. Plus or minus square root of 6 squared is 36. The tough part is you have this negative 4 times 4 is negative 16 times negative 40 changes it to plus. So 16 times 40 is 640. And then on the bottom we have 2 times 4 is 8. So if we simplify a little more, inside the square root symbol, you have 36 plus 640. That's 676. Okay? Now the square root of 676, I don't know that. Like I said, 26. So let's scooch down a little bit here. We have negative 6 plus or minus 26 over 8. Now the reason you have the plus or minus there is because it could be positive 26 or it could be negative 26. So we're going to set up 2 different equations here. Negative 6 plus 26 over 8 and negative 6 minus 26 over 28. And these will give us our 2 different answers. All right, I made myself too large over here. That's what I do in the gym, too. Okay. Negative 6 plus 26 is 20 over 8. Those are both divisible by 4. So 20 divided by 4 is 5. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So 5 halves is one of our answers, or 2.5, or 2.5. Negative 6 minus 26 would be negative 32 over 28. Those are also both divisible by 4. So we'd have negative 8 sevenths. Those would be our 2 answers. Sweet. Not bad. Not bad at all.